Mariah the scientist, and how, Mariah the scientist is a perfect example of a Pickmeisha, and really what happens to Pickmes. The treatment is never, ever, ever, ever good. And I know there are a lot of good morning, naturally. I know that there are, men always encourage women to be pick me's and to sacrifice and to be a ride or die. But oftentimes, when women do things like this, the only thing that results in is that woman's demise and embarrassment. And it happens over and over and over again. In no way, shape, form, or fashion is it advantageous for you as a woman to be a pick me, and to put a man above everything, especially men that have already showed you that they'll betray you, like by cheating on you, getting with other women, all of these things. And what I think is crazy is why do so let me go down to questions. Number one, why do men betray women and think it's nothing? But then they hold loyalty for men at a very high standard. Like if you notice that when Young Thug was on those phone calls, it was a joke. It was a kiki when he was talking about the fact that he's having intercourse with the COs and how, he can cheat on his girl and he can do all of these things. It was very funny. It wasn't he didn't think his betrayal of his girlfriend that he admitted was holding him down and being loyal to him. That wasn't a big deal. However, he's on all of these interviews very upset that his boys, men, did not show him loyalty. And I find it to be crazy that a man can sleep with you, he can place himself inside of your body every day and not feel that he owes you loyalty. But men that he's just kicking it with, now he feels very upset when those men don't show him loyalty. And I definitely agree with you. I do believe that means a man is G for sure. I don't think anybody doesn't know that Thug is bi, right? I mean, all the skirt wearing and all of the other stuff, like, yeah. But so I wanted to talk about that. Why do men betray women and think it's nothing but hold loyalty for men at a high standard? Number two, accepting a man that cheats and taking him back will never work out. I really wish that women would understand that as well. If a man cheats on you, it will never work out because he does not like you. Anybody can argue and debate this point with me, but if he really liked you, he would have never done it. Because anytime a man cheats, he knows that there's a possibility or a chance of you leaving. And the chance of you leaving or the chance of you leaving his life is not enough to stop him from cheating on you. And because of that, that means that he doesn't like you or care for you the way you think. And because of that, things will never work out. Because I personally don't believe relationships with men will ever work out unless they really, really like you. And honestly, they need to like you a little bit more than you like them. But that's just my opinion. Number three, men whose circle is filled with F boys, you know what I'm saying? He is an F boy as well. So when you have like men like Young Thug, whose bestie is like Future, you know what I'm saying? And Lil Baby and Gunna and all of these guys that have cheated on their girlfriends, what in the world do you think you're gonna get? You act like his whole circle is filled with like Russell Wilson type men. You're gonna be sorry. You're gonna be sorry. Number four, women's emotions minimized. I really, it's so upsetting to me, and I see this all the time where women's emotions are minimized. So, like, if you notice that if you ever see a situation where a woman cheated or a woman lied about the paternity of her child or something like that, and the man found out, and the man crashed out and either beat the woman up or unalived the woman, all you see is comments from men like, oh yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. You don't play with a man's emotions. You don't lie to a man like that. Yeah, that woman deserved to be unalived. How dare she be that disloyal? Now, however, if a woman is cheated on, disrespected, the man did had intercourse with her mama, her sister, her cousin, her best friend, he that had a baby on her, you never see men advocate for the unaliving of that. You never see if the woman even crash out and slash the man tires or break out the man's window or go crazy. All the men are in the comments, chill, chill, chill. Why you acting crazy like that? You could easily walk away. Oh my goodness. My thing is why are women's emotions minimized? But if a man gets in his feelings about something, he should be able to do whatever, whenever, however. You know? Then number 5, I wanted to talk about the fact that women need to have more boundaries and self-respect. There's no reason why there should be women out there fighting other women for men, like Mariah the scientist was fighting one of Young Thug's baby mamas and stuff like that. What are you doing? You're fighting another woman for a man. Like, I really do feel like women, especially black women, need to have more boundaries, more self-respect when it comes to men. Like, that's just ridiculous. Let me say something. October says your mistake is using rich men as your prompt. Rich men exercise options often. No, your mistake is thinking that this just applies to rich men. This applies to rich men, middle class men, broke men, homeless men. This ideology and rhetoric applies to every man that you can think of. And if you're a rich man and you want to exercise your options, you need to tell those women that and not lie to them. So no, a rich man is not exempt. So you're wrong. So once again, let me keep going. And also I wanted to talk about, the last thing I wanted to talk about is the fact of all of this grace that women extend to men. Like all of this, oh, he can have a bad history, a bad reputation. He can be ran through. He can have a horrible reputation on how he treats women, and women will still give that man the time of day. When men do not do the same thing. I don't know if y'all remember Rick Ross back in the day when he dated the IG baddie Lyra Galore. Do y'all remember that? When Rick Ross dated Lyra Galore, he asked her to marry him. They were engaged. Once those pictures came out of when she was dancing with Meek Mill, and all of these men were saying that Lyra Galore was for the streets and that Rick Ross was a simp for entertaining Lyra Galore and was going to marry her, Rick Ross dropped that girl like a hot potato. He dropped that girl like a bad habit. She was gone. Why? Because men do not play. If you make them look bad, if you cross a boundary, they do not give you no type of grace or acceptance. They do not at all. They don't. And so my thing is, why do women extend a grace to men that they will never, ever, ever give you? That's the reason why black women look stupid every day, all day, right now. So anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. All right, so I'm going to go from the bottom to the top and give everybody 3 minutes. If you guys have anything to respond to the prompts. Go ahead, Miss Maria. Miss Marie, sorry. Go ahead, Marie.
Hi.
Hey.
So let me say this. I think for one, when we're talking about, I remember at the beginning you said Young Thug was so upset about his friends telling on him. I think that's two different things, because what he was talking about is a street code. Like if me and you do something wrong and you get caught and you just went in there telling on me, and yeah, you do owe me loyalty. We went in there together. And not only that, I paid for you to get out of town over some stuff that didn't have nothing to do with me. So yes, if I'm the head honcho and I'm taking care of everybody's family, everybody that I'm taking care of family, yes, you owe me loyalty. Now, Mariah the scientist, which, and I'm sorry, I know a lot of girls don't like to hear this, but these are the facts. The facts is you are a girlfriend. You're not a wife. So don't think a man owes you loyalty. He doesn't owe you. It's good if he give it to you. It's good if he's faithful to you. But does he owe it to you? He owes nothing to you. He owes it to his wife. So I don't believe, yes, I believe the lying part. And I know it doesn't feel good when a man cheats on you and you're a girlfriend. But don't think that he owes you anything. And yes, it's a difference between that type of man and a regular man, because that type of man, he could be ugly, and he is ugly. But he has a million women in his DMs. He has a million women throwing himself at him. He has a million women. So at the end of the day, I'm not saying that is right, but I'm saying that, he's not married. So of course he doesn't, no, none of those type men. I dated an NFL player, and it's different. Their DMs is different. How women approach them is different from just a regular nice looking man. Okay? It's different. So until Young Thug gets married, we don't need to hold him accountable for cheating on a girlfriend. You are a girlfriend that if anything happens to him, you can't even find out his court records. You can't even go to court without him saying you can come to court. You can't go to a hospital room if he is on a ventilator. You can't do anything without, like, you have no access to this man without his permission. You can't talk to the lawyers, can't talk to the police, the doctors, anything. You are a girlfriend. So at the end of the day, I think that, yes, you should tell the truth about how you're moving, but if you don't, a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, not that deep. And those are the facts until you get a ring.
Okay. I just want to say, I think that the things that you said, in my opinion, I think that they're a bit male centered, because what they do is they give men the license to do whatever they want and women not to. Because nobody talks about the fact that Young Thug expected loyalty out of Mariah the Scientist and her not to entertain other men. He also went into the relationship and told this girl that he was going to be faithful to her. So regardless of what we say, what should be expected from a boyfriend or a girlfriend versus a husband and a wife, if you set the expectation there as a man, as Young Thug did, then that's exactly what you're supposed to do. And if you don't do that, then that makes you a bad person. And with Young Thug in his situation, it wasn't just about a street code. He talked about several friends that he felt like were not there for him, that were not good friends, that did not have loyalty, that did not respond
They
in
were all
kind
on
to
the
him,
court
that did not.
case.
Please don't interrupt. I didn't interrupt you.
But they were on the
Um,
court case.
yeah, I didn't interrupt you, sis. If you could let me finish, I'd appreciate it. As I was saying, he did the exact same thing that he didn't want to be done. He did the exact same thing that he did to Mariah. And he expected that out of other people. If we're going to say that, then these men don't owe you loyalty. Like a friend, just because somebody did, like he was talking about Drake and talking about all these people that didn't really support him the way that he had been there for them, been there for him. If we're just talking about been there for him, if we're just talking about as a friend, then let's say, oh, Mariah the Scientist was just a friend to him. She gave him a lot of loyalty and he didn't respond in kind. He had her looking stupid. He was down there kikiing with other girls and doing a whole host of other things. And beyond that, he was taking glee and pleasure in it. So once again, if you start the expectation of the relationship as a man, regardless on if he's your husband or not, like, because I'm saying this as a married person. If you tell me the expectation is while dating that we're going to be monogamous and you don't do it, that makes you a terrible person. And when it comes to like a man that has options or whatever, if you have options, cool. But then don't tell these women that you're going to be just with them. And I don't believe that there should be any excuses made to a man that has access to more women or access to less women. And I think that's the reason why so many women are comfortable with being mistreated, because we as a collective, there are so many black women with so much low self-esteem that we give men grace that they would never allow us. If Halle Berry in her prime, or somebody like Lori Harvey that has a lot of options of men that can choose from, a lot of men that want to be with her, nobody says, oh, she has a lot of options. A lot of men want her. A lot of men are in her DMs so she can move this way. No, she is shamed and called ran through, and people talk about her very badly and very poorly. And that is exactly what I mean. Men will never be able to be better until we start holding them to the same level of humanity that we hold women to. You don't get to have a lower level of humanity because you have a penis. That doesn't make any type of sense. Like it doesn't. And that's very male centered to think that you can give somebody they get out of being a decent human being because they have a penis. That's insane. I can't even say.
Can I
But I'll
respond?
let you respond, Marie, after I let everybody else speak.
Can I speak?
I got you.
Can I
I'm good.
respond?
Marie, if you, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna go down here to Gabrielle first, and then I'll go down here to Miss Oracle. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, thank you so much. I like my mind is blown after hearing Marie say that, like, if you are just like boyfriend girlfriend with a man, he doesn't owe you loyalty. I'm sorry, Marie, but that is objectively ridiculous. And someone in the comments said that you were in a Chris Brown live, and so that really kind of explains your mentality. But anyway, this is why I'm so critical of pick me women, because you will never ever in your life hear a man say, "Oh, if a girl is just my girlfriend, she doesn't owe me loyalty. She can go out and be with other guys." Like, no, that man would freak out. And there have been cases of men literally unaliving, women, girlfriends. I'm not just talking about their wives with their wives too, but girlfriends for quote unquote stepping out on them. And then you'll have a bunch of other men in the comment sections, but then you have pick me's like Marie who are basically justifying a man cheating and saying just because he isn't legally wed to you, it's not a problem. Like, that is objectively ridiculous, and it really does tie into the
Uh,
prompt, you know. Us. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I
oh
thought
no,
someone said
oh
something.
no, go ahead,
Oh,
Gabrielle.
oh no, no, no. No, I was just saying it really does tie into the prompt, because I mean, if you as a woman are saying that it's okay for if you as a woman are saying that it's okay for a man to cheat on you if he's just your boyfriend or not your husband, you really do like boundaries. You really do lack self-respect. And I guarantee you that man in that relationship, whether he is your boyfriend, your fiance, or your husband, he's going to expect you to be loyal to him in return. And again, this is like that mentality that it is ironic because it just really does encompass everything in the prompt. Like, number one, why do men betray women and think it's nothing but hold loyalty for men at a high standard? Men betray women because of, in a lot of cases, male-centered women like Marie who give them all this grace that they would never give in return. It's really amazing. Behind every terrible man who mistreats women and disrespects women, there's always going to be a boy mom or a pick me defending him and making excuses for him, despite the fact that it's never reciprocated. And also this kind of ties into number four as well, because by saying that it's okay if a man cheats on you if he's only your boyfriend, that does minimize women's emotions. In most cases, when people get into relationships, it starts off as boyfriend and girlfriend before it, progresses to marriage. And in boyfriend girlfriend relationships, there is generally an expectation that both parties are going to be loyal to each other. So it's literally like blowing my mind, like Marie would come here and say that, like, you're like, just the passion in which you were like defending the guy and saying that, oh, it's okay if he cheats, he doesn't owe you anything. Like, there was just so much vigor and so much energy put into that argument, and it's mind-blowing. I just want to say, Marie, because my timer's running out, all of this grace that you're giving cheating men, they will never ever give you even an iota of that in return. And I'm gonna land there for now.
All right, all right, all right. Thank you so much, Gabrielle. Actually, now that you guys are talking, I realize Marie is the lady that was here when we had the Chris Brown conversation. I know when she left, she said that I seemed like I was bitter. So I'm just even surprised that Marie even came back to even have a conversation about this. But now I'm starting to see that there is some type of maybe
About what?
visceral response that you have when somebody is talking about like black male celebrities. I do find it's weird that you did insult me and then you came back. That's
I
very
did not
strange.
insult you.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. What do you think that calling somebody bitter is? Do you think that is a
I
compliment or
don't call
what?
you bitter. What do you?
Yes, you did. You when you left, you said, "Oh, I see what this is. You're just bitter," and you left.
I
That's
wasn't even
exactly what
talking
you
to you
said
when
to
I
me.
left.
Yes, you did. You dropped the live and you said that I was bitter and you exited out of the live.
You have a
I find it
recording?
to be weird that you came back here after you insulted me. I didn't even
Bullshit.
realize it was you
That's not
until
true.
Gabrielle
Pull the
said something.
recording.
It's definitely true. It's
Pull the
definitely
recording.
true, Marie.
Don't
And that's very weird. I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I do think it's weird. Once again, I have no idea, but you coming up in here getting aggressive again on defense of black men that would not spit on you if you were on fire. It's very weird. These type of men that you're defending. First, you were defending an abuser, and now you're defending a known womanizer and a criminal that had a RICO charge. That is actually very terrifying to me. And this is exactly the reason why black women will always be taken as a joke. Like, honestly. Marie, I'm not about to go back and forth with you, lady. I'm not. And if you unmute yourself anymore,
I
I'm
did
going to
not mute
block you.
myself.
Okay, let me go ahead and block you, Marie. You go ahead and have a great day, sister. All right. Cause I'm not about to go back and forth with you about this crazy stuff. I screenshot you. I'm gonna block you. Let me see if you're in the live. If I see your picture, if not, it's okay. I'll just block you when the live is over. You got some serious mental issues, and I can't help you with them, baby. You got to go make you an appointment with your local therapist, because to insult a woman, to talk crazy to me, and then to bring your behind back up here, and then like I said, to defend, first of all, a woman beater. And we talk about like, oh, like how she, cause yeah, I remember, because she was talking about Rihanna. And when I said that Chris Brown doesn't like black women, she said that, oh, he dated Rihanna, as if Rihanna is, y'all get what I'm saying? And then she started saying all this crazy stuff. Now, first of all, you defending a woman beater. Now you're defending, and we always just bring up Rihanna, but we act like there's not documented proof that he was whooping up on Karuchi too. But whatever. The fact that this lady was talking about defending him, now you're defending Young Thug. Ma'am, get your get your life, please. Who the next person? Who you gonna defend next? You know what I'm saying? You gonna come over here talking about how Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers were misunderstood, and they was unaliving people. It really wasn't their fault. It's actually black women's fault. Marie got some problems. But yeah, I would have never even let that lady talk. I didn't even realize that it was her until Gabrielle started talking about it. Then I was like, oh, you know what? That is that crazy lady. And that is so weird. How you gonna violate me and then come back? Bro, but it's okay. As soon as I end this live, I'm gonna block this lady for real. And I'm not even kidding. Like, she'll never be back. She'll never be back again. But let me go down here to my oracle. Go ahead, sis.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I wanted to speak before she even left, but that was crazy to suggest that it's okay to cheat because y'all are not married yet. I just feel like, isn't a relationship supposed to be like the preview before the marriage? So if you're not faithful in the relationship, why would I want to marry you at all? And it's just the same. If she had the same attitude, like, well, I'm just your girlfriend, so I don't owe you loyalty. I don't need to do this. I don't know. Why would he want to marry you? It's just like, that doesn't make any sense. How do you even get to marriage with this mentality? And another thing is, I wanted to respond to you was saying how a woman will watch a man mistreat and dog and abuse multiple women and still hop in line like to rush to date him next. And it's like, for some reason, y'all have this egotistic thing where you always feel like you're the special one that he's suddenly going to become an amazing person for. And this is why I don't be having sympathy for y'all, because I don't get it. Like, once I see you consistently mistreating woman after woman, that's enough as a turn off for me. It's men that was in my DM that I've been friends with for years. He had a public relationship and cheated on his kid's mom, and then ended up sliding in my DM. Why would I want you? I already see how you move. It's just stupid. Women just do stupid things sometimes when y'all are too male centered and too desperate for male validation. And it is an issue because this is why they look at us like we crazy when we say, why the heck would you expect for me to open my legs? I don't know you. You have yet to do anything for me. You have yet to court me. You haven't even taken me out to dinner. This is why they look at us like we crazy when we actually come with standards, because of pick-me's like that say stupid shit like that. And the sad part is that's probably somebody's mother. And I feel bad for whoever her future daughter-in-law is.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you, Oracle, and I do think that it's a super problem, and I do think that a lot of it is ego driven, where women think that they're better than the next woman, like they so pretty, they so bomb, they body so tea, their ex is so amazing that they're not going to get that same treatment. But we already know that every time it always happens. It always happens.
And plus, Young Thug is mad ugly, if we really being honest. So he
Yes.
probably wasn't even used to getting this much woman attention until he started getting money. So I really don't understand why Mariah would even expect him to be loyal.
I
But
mean, I
again,
definitely
it's
agree with you.
men.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I agree with everything that you said. All right, let me go down here to Supervillain and then Shahida. Hopefully I said that right. Go ahead, Miss Supervillain.
Yes, good morning, Trig. Panelists
Morning.
is in the comment section. Y'all know what I'm about to ask. Let's tap, tap, tap. Let's get Trig to the like she deserves. Wow, this is as per usual, great, great prompt. I'm mad I came at the end part for Marie, so I missed it, but it sounds like it was a rough ride. I hope y'all had y'all seatbelts on.
Hey,
Um
Supervillain, you remember
yeah,
Marie? You remember her? She
When
was
you
the
were
one that,
talking, I remember, but I didn't hear her
yeah,
commentary earlier.
she was the one that was talking about Chris Brown and like defending Chris Brown and saying that Chris Brown liked black women because he dated Rihanna and that he only put his hands on Rihanna and we should forgive them because they had a volatile relationship. She was that lady that was up there saying that stuff. Like,
Yes, I
yeah.
remember. And it's so funny because you can I don't know if y'all know this, quick sidebar. Y'all know y'all can go back and be entertained and listen to Trig's lives on YouTube, just in case y'all ever cleaning up or need something to listen to while you're doing a chore. So I'm gonna just throw that out there because I do that all the time. So it's on recording, babe. Trig don't have to lie. She literally posts the recording. So I always think that's so funny when they come up here and lie. But anyway, oh,
Oh,
I
wait
see
a
my
minute, super
timer.
villain. I'm gonna restart your timers. Chilo Tim said in the comments that was the lady that said she had good hair. I forgot. She was
Yeah.
also the lady that said she had good hair. Oh my goodness.
Yes, you remember I was trying to tell her, girl, it's not about Chris Brown. It's about black women's behavior going to the concert. I had to say that to her like 10 freaking times of that live. She,
Yeah.
hmm I remember. I'm actually kind of glad I missed her commentary because I'm pretty sure I would have been pissed off. um,
You would have been. Gabrielle was already mad.
oh, and it's hard to get Gabby mad because she's very unbothered. Hey, Gabby, my traveling sister. So I'm glad I missed it. I'll catch it in the replay anyway. But that's so funny. Now it made me forget. I must spin the block. I do want to say this because I did catch that last piece that she was saying about the cheating. And here's the thing. They always know what to do for the man situation, but they never expect that as a woman, which is weird. That's why I don't understand pickmeism. If you feel like a man doesn't owe you loyalty, but you are twisting yourself in a pretzel to be loyal to him. What are you doing, sis? Shit like that doesn't make sense. And this is what we were talking about the other day about men expecting getting this treatment and nobody giving, especially black women, grace. But I'm gonna spin the block because I see some line because I totally forgot my point talking about Marie. So I'm a yield there.
Okay. All right. I'll get you back. All right, let me go down here to Miss Shahida. Go ahead, Shahida. Let me know if I said your name right.
You did. Thank
Okay.
you. Yes, ma'am. Peace, everybody. This is my first time on a live with you, and so I just see the topic is about Mariah, the scientist, and everything, and pygmies. I guess I'm not all the way clear on what a pygmy is, to be honest, because I don't necessarily like live in the world of. I'm definitely not a feminist, and I'm definitely not a supporter of red pill. I feel like both ideologies are lacking severely and don't benefit black people at all. But I do agree with. I mean, I guess. So, can you just kind of break down exactly what a pick me is? I know, like a woman who just values men over women.
People use pick me in a lot of different ways. I think I really don't even like to use the term pick me that
Okay.
much,
Okay.
but I think that for intents and purposes of like the prompt and stuff like that, I decided to use it. But in my opinion, a pick me is a woman that is extremely male centered and puts the presence of a man over everything, which that would mean her child,
Mm-hmm.
risking other women's safety, even risking her own self safety, her own self worth, her own self esteem. I think some of the biggest pick meism is just prioritizing a man over your own self worth. So, like Mariah the scientist being with the man that has cheated on her multiple times, publicly embarrassed
Mm-hmm.
her, yet
Yeah.
she puts this man's presence over her own. So yeah, and the feminist thing, I'm not quite for sure what you mean by that. I mean, I know there are different like subsets of feminism, but feminism just means advocating for women's rights. That's just the literal definition. So when women say that they're like not a feminist, I always am a little confused because like, does that mean that you don't think that women should have like the same rights as men, or do you tie feminism to something else? That's just like
Yes.
a side note question I
No,
had.
no, no, no. I completely agree because a long time, like I say, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I consider myself a feminist because I just was thinking, oh, okay, women's rights and stuff like that. But the roots of feminism is not is against the black woman. So I'm against it. And so when the roots and when you see like the outcomes of it are not even fruitful, then it's not even worth being a part of, because feminism is a spawn of white supremacy. So I'm definitely for women's rights. I'm a breastfeeding wife and mother. I breastfed all of my children, for children. I'm for women's rights. I'm for, I'm definitely an advocate for home births, and making sure we're getting about black women's mortality, focus on real issues. That's real feminism. If you say feminism, it needs to be deconstructed and not be what it is today. Feminism, that's why I don't agree with the term, because it originated in white supremacy. It originated in, let's get black women away from being women, and let's get them under our wing, and let's get them into the workforce. You know what I'm saying?
Uh, well,
That's what
okay. So what you said right there, like, well, first, there were a lot of black women even back then that were not trying to align with white women, because white women were like using black women's labor, and then all the strides that were being made that only applied to them, which is why a lot of black women started calling themselves womanists. But what you said
Yes,
about
I
them
agree with more
getting,
feminism. Yes,
but
I that's what I
but
say.
but when you said that, like, it was about getting black women in the workforce, black women were always in the workforce. Black women didn't work. They always worked. Even so, when there were times where black women did have the opportunity to stay home, white women were upset because they didn't have anyone to do their tasks, and made laws that black women could not stay home, that they had to go to work. So I'm confused at
Okay,
what you're saying about, like, what do you think that, like,
so so
that,
I
yeah.
so I do know about the laws that were made in Alabama and certain places for black women, to force black women to work who were staying at home. What I'm saying is that we know that putting and so yeah, black women, yeah, we were in the workforce to a certain extent. Some of us weren't. My mother never worked. She didn't work. My parents are still married 44 years. And then we go back further. Certain women in my family worked, and certain women in my family did not. So that's not a whole. And we know that we were forced into the workforce, and we know what happened to our men and our women. However, that's not for every case. That's why I say it was a push to separate the black man and the black woman. I'm not a feminist, like you said. A womanist is much more appropriate, because I'm about what's best for the woman, which is what's best for the family. I'm not about I'm about, of course, women getting paid the same amount if you're doing the same work and all that. That's real. If you want to make it say feminism, that's real feminism, about our pay, about our bodies. That's real feminism, not sit up there and aligning with people who hate us. And feminism is tied to white people. It's tied to white supremacy. The root of feminism comes from getting black women to have abortions and exterminating the black race.
Shahida, you can't say the A word on TikTok. You will get my
Okay.
live shut down.
Oh,
You have to
AB.
say AB, something like that. But yeah,
Okay.
you
All
can't say
right.
that.
That's cool. Yeah. So, getting black women to AB our children. It's about jealousy of black women. It has nothing to do with solidarity. It's never been solidarity. We should have never been with them, because we know Gloria Steinem was a CIA agent. That is a fact. That's
Okay,
documented. Even
Shahida.
interviews.
Okay, I got you. I Supervillain wanted to respond to you,
Yeah.
and so I have I think Supervillain and Maya wanted to respond to you, so I'll let them respond to you, and then you can respond back to them. Okay, go ahead, Supervillain. I'll let you respond. You and Maya respond up, and then she can respond back. Go ahead.
Of course, Trey, and I know you run a tight ship, and you do what you need to do on this platform. I just wanted to say, as what I would call a radical feminist and also a proud misandrist, that's not the topic today. I don't ever have an issue with educating women, but I feel like you purposely came up here to be the disruption, and I'm the only disruptor on this panel. We are talking about the issues about Mariah the scientist. We are actually taking a little bit of a day off because we had some very heavy topics, especially yesterday. And I know some black man probably put it down on you, and you on the pro-black nonsense that we all been through. I was there too. I ain't gonna lie, sis. It's always the pro-black ones that put the thing down. But that is seriously not the topic. We just trying to do some topics right now that relate to Black women and change Black women behavior. Again, whichever way you want to go, Trig, but I just came to remind this lady that that is not the topic. She literally hasn't hit any points on the prompt, and this always happens. They get deed down by these pro-Black men, and they come into a room where Black women just trying to talk top topics. Again, you weren't here yesterday. We were doing some very heavy stuff, and we just trying to lighten the mood a little bit while still teaching Black women game. And you came here and disrupt. I'm the only disruptor in here. Trig, I'm sorry. I just had to say it because this is. I really don't even. She's not here to be educated. She's here to talk her pro-Black talking points. This is not the room, sis. You had to read it. This is you really in the wrong place.
Okay,
All
let me
right,
respond really
just a
quickly.
second, Shahida. I'm gonna go down
Okay.
here to Maya, and then that way, you can respond because I want to say I think Gabrielle has something to say too. Then that way you could just knock it all out at once. Go ahead, Maya. I'll go to Maya, then Gabrielle, and then Shahida. I'll set your timer, sis, and I'll give you 4 minutes to speak, respond back. Go ahead, Maya.
Okay, so thank you for letting me up. But I just want to kind of dispel some misinformation because in times like this, it is so dangerous to be misinformed about like women's rights and feminism and the actual real material benefits that we've gained from it. Like feminism is the reason why Mariah the scientist, if she were married to Young Thug, could divorce him for cheating. Like feminism is the reason why you can work and also buy property and have your own bank account and open a credit card. Feminism is why you can vote. Feminism is why you can make the choice to be a stay-at-home mom. And you have options to divorce your husband if your husband's not doing his part in the home. And so I think it's really dangerous to negate the benefits that Black women and women in general have gained from feminism. And that's really all I wanted to say, just to kind of dispel the misinformation, because I just think that's very dangerous for Black women.
All right, all right. I appreciate you, Maya. Let me go up here to Gabrielle real quickly, and then we'll let Shahida respond. Go ahead, Gabrielle.
Yeah, thank you so much, Triggered. I mean, Maya, I believe she really made some great points, and that's absolutely right. Like, it always blows my mind when women say I'm not feminist, because whether or not you call yourself a feminist or not, you objectively benefit from the rights that feminists fought for and risked their lives and their necks for. And you know what? Whatever your name is, if you're not a feminist, I really wish, if you really think that feminism, that women don't benefit from, I really wish that you would not reap the benefits of what feminists have fought for. Like, you say you're not a feminist, but I bet you wear pants, you have a bank account, you vote in elections however you vote. I could probably guess how you vote. I'm not even going to get into that. I mean, you objectively benefit from the rights of feminists, and yet you're on this live undermining it. Even like when Supervillain said it's not even the topic, but you basically come on and like derail this whole thing. And yeah, like Maya was saying, in this day and age, it really is wild to be this delusional about women's rights when there is like an active forces in this country trying to roll back women's rights and regress back to the 1950s. Thank you, Chilatan. We do all benefit from feminism. Like, I'm so tired of these pick-me's playing stupid and acting like they don't understand the issues that happened in the past that led to the feminist movement and how the feminist movement has impacted women today. Okay, so I mean, you're on this live, I'm sure you have a bank account, a checking account, wherever the case may be, all of those rights and all of those things you enjoy, your ability to walk away from a relationship and not be subject to coverture laws or whatever the case may be, all of that is because of feminism. So in closing on this point, because it's really not the topic, if you are not a feminist, I challenge you to close your bank account, close your credit cards, go churn butter, go marry a guy, go have 10 babies like women did before there were other options for us, and just please be fully anti-feminist instead of coming on here and degrading feminism and then benefiting from it. Like, I'm sure you won't do that, but I think if you were really someone of integrity, you would be anti-feminist all the way. So I will just land there for now. Thank you.
All right, Gabrielle. Okay, so now I'm gonna set the timer for Shahida. Give her 4 minutes to speak. Go ahead, Shahida. That way
Okay,
you can
cool.
respond.
Because really, it was like three people who talked and like really put a lot out there. So I'm going to try to just remember everything because that was like a double, triple team, which is cool with me because I'm a disruptor. I'm a disruptor in every room, in any room, because I speak truth to power. What it is that no, I'm not a feminist. And if you paid attention, you would have heard me say that I am married and I have 4 children. I am a womanist. Black women don't need feminism because feminism, we make the laws. We push for every major decision that is worth something. Feminism is tied to white supremacy, just like the red pill movement is tied to white supremacy. And if you listen to what I'm saying, you'll understand. Just kind of listen. Instead of dogpiling on. So feminism started with white women wanting to make sure that the black race is not just white women. Actually, it started with white men and white women who came together. I know you know who Margaret Sanger is, right? Right. Okay. Who came together as a effort, as an agenda to exterminate the black race. That's just a point. That's a fact. So us being tied, feminism, when I'm talking about, I'm not a feminist, I'm not tied to white women. I'm tied to black women. So if you didn't hear what I said specifically about the things that affect black women, which are still affecting us to this day, which is the black women mortality rate in hospitals, dying under doctors. You see what I'm saying? These different things that are happening. It's still happening today. If feminism was so great, now why is that still happening today? I know about all the major things that we've done, but guess what? I'm a Muslim. So Muslim women have had these rights for over 1400 years. Islam is the first system that gave women's rights. I can divorce and get married. I'm married. Obviously I'm married, so I'm not divorcing, but I can divorce my husband. I have the right to hyphenate my name. I have the right to keep my father's name. I've been having the right to own property, all those things, to have a bank account, to own businesses, to vote. All those things were done years before the West even done it, and it's still being done today. Okay, so you don't have to talk, you don't have to lecture me about no type of feminism, because Islam gave women rights when women didn't have rights. We just got rights over in this country a few years ago. We've been having rights. Muslim women been having rights. And black women have always been on the forefront of every major movement, black people and Muslims in this country. So I'm a disruptor. I'm gonna be a disruptor. I speak truth to power. It don't matter who don't like it. I speak the truth even if it's against my own self. I always speak the truth. That's my motto, because that's where it comes from, Islam. And so I'm gonna be a disruptor. It don't matter who don't like it. And I'm gonna speak everything I just said was the truth. If you do your research, you'll find that Islam gave women rights. Islam protects women. Islam is the reason why there's protections. It's the West kind of copied it, just like they copied black people when we brought free fruit and free breakfast.
Shahida, can I ask you a question? In the Muslim faith, do
Islam.
Islam faith, excuse me, I'm sorry. What is the reward for the men when they pass on?
Oh, I love that you said that. So you mean 72 virgins? False. So basically, where that comes from, that's for martyr men who die in war and who
Okay,
have,
but
and
it
who are,
doesn't
excuse
matter.
me, hold
It's
on
the
one second.
reward. Wait a minute.
No, 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 no,
No,
no, no,
no,
because I
no, no,
can.
no, 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 no. What you're gonna do is you're gonna calm down, number one, and you're gonna respect me in my life. You can say that you're the disruptor all you want to all day long, but what you won't do is disrupt and disrespect the person that's here. I don't know you. I never had a conversation with you, so calm down. So once again, I don't care who it's for. That's a belief system in your religion. So that right there should say it all. But I want to really know the things that you said about Margaret Sanger and black women being unalived and losing their lives within the healthcare system. Those things are also part of racism. So this whole thing that you're trying to tie it to feminism is very strange. But my question is this, and I would like you to answer this and not answer anything else. We are talking about Mariah the scientist and what happens when you're a pick me and how embarrassed and humiliated she is right now, and the piss poor treatment that Young Thug showed her. What about that conversation made you feel like you wanted to talk about how bad feminism is, and being a Muslim, and what about that made you feel like it was on topic? Does that
Okay, so
sound
I,
like that's connected?
sure. So what you said about Islam, that's not true. I didn't get to
Okay,
explain it,
I
but if
just
you
said I'm
download it,
not going to talk to you about Islam. I asked you, was that something y'all believe? And you said yes. You started to talk about that it applies to martyrs. I don't care who it applies to. All I know is that y'all believe it. So once again, my question is not about that. I don't want to hear about Islam. I don't care about it. I think it's an oppressive religion. I don't want to talk about it. And I'm not going to talk about it. And you're not going to make me talk about it. I don't even talk about Christianity on here on purpose. So I'm not going to talk about Islam. I'm not going to talk about Christianity. I'm not going to talk about Buddhism. I'm not going to talk about Judaism. I'm not talking about religion at all. So I want you to understand that I'm not going to talk about it. I asked you one question, which you can respond. What made you feel like you wanted to talk about the things that you talked about when we're talking about Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug? What would make you come up here and start talking about Margaret Sanger and ABs and what's being a pick me? I mean, I already knew what type of time you were on when you asked what a pick me is, because that's what all pick me's do, to be honest. They ask what it is when they know exactly what people mean it to be. But what triggered you to come up here and not talk about the topic? Did you have any thoughts on Mariah the Scientist or
yeah, I
no?
actually did, but I didn't get a chance to get to him because, for one, when I asked what a pick me was, the conversation switched.
Okay, so
Because I'll
then
kind of,
let's
and
not switch it. No, 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 no,
you
no,
even
no, no,
yourself,
no, no, no. You're not going to dominate anything here. As I just said, I don't know what you think. You're used to not being dominated by the men in your community, okay? So I don't know why you think you gon' you know what I'm saying, you gonna go over there, let them tell you what to do, tell you that you're subservient, but then you think you gonna come over here and get the big nuts with me? No, 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 no. And that's the difference between me and you. I get the big nuts with anybody, whether they got a penis or whether they have a vagina. So if you think you're going to come over here and talk to me crazy, but when you get around your men, you want to wear, you want to cover up your hair and act like you subservient, that's on you, baby. No, but you won't do that here. So once again, what do you have to say about Mariah the Scientist?
what the hell
Okay,
are you
let me
talking
drop you.
about?
You have a great day. I'm not about to play with you. I'm not about to play with you because it's so funny that y'all be in these things where men tell you that you're less than and that you're lower than and you're less than, and you accept that and you cower and you get on your hands and knees and you beg these men to treat you like a human being. But then when you get around other women, you want to take out all of that frustration that you feel, all of that aggression, all of that sadness that you feel at constantly being told as less than. But you don't take that and weaponize that to the men that are actually treating you like that. You want to come to me, another woman, and get buck with me. You want to get buck. You want to get loud. You want to get aggressive. You want to say this. You want to say that. But you don't say that to the men. When the men tell you, oh no, you're weaker than me, submit to me, be subservient to me. You do this and you do that because you're a weak woman. You don't have no problem taking all that mistreatment from these men, but you want to come over here and get aggressive with me? Girl, bye. If you can't get aggressive with these men, you sure as heck ain't getting aggressive with me. And it's really just that simple. And if you don't know, I get aggressive with anybody, with these men, all men. And then my thing is, you talking about, never mind. I don't want to insult anybody's belief system because I don't want anyone to insult my belief system. So I'm not going to say the thoughts and opinions that I have. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has thoughts and opinions on things, but I'm going to respect you and I'm not going to say half of the things that I was going to say to you. I'm going to let you live and I'm going to be nice because, ma'am, no. That's all I got to say. But I know one thing, you're not going to be aggressive to me. Like, period. You're just not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, period. The fact that you're in you know what, let me hold on, let me just pull this up real quick on Google. Let's see here, y'all hold on, just give me 1 second. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. Let me go back up here to the top though, to Gabrielle. You can go ahead and speak, Gabrielle, while I look this up.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that entire exchange was really telling. Like, I mean, and honestly, the fact that, to me, this is just my opinion, but the fact that she is the religion that she is, that really does explain everything, her whole mindset, you know, her disposition towards feminism. And, you know, contrary to what she was saying, no, Islam does not afford women rights. It is the antithesis of women's rights. It's why the why Sharia law exists in the world. It's the culprit behind child marriage. And I really do wonder if she is like the same person as Marie, because she was talking like Marie. She was very much, going off topic. I mean, it really is just insane to me.
It
Yeah, like
sounds,
Chilton,
she got a different voice. I think maybe she might be cool with Marie or something like that.
maybe, yeah, because she came in like right after you dropped Marie, and it was just really bizarre. But yeah, honestly, when she asked what is a pick me, like that was the first red flag. It's like, if you are online in 2025 and just like aware of like kind of like cultural discourse, you know what a pick me is. So someone in the chat said she's Marie. But no, it's just crazy that I really, I don't, I think Supervillain was right about her. Like, she did not come up here to talk about the prompt. Like, she really just came up here to like derail the entire conversation. But I mean, again, Triggered, I do agree with you about, the whole religious thing, because it's like, she was very aggressive here in a space full of women, but that's not directed towards the men in her community who are openly misogynistic and don't respect women, and enact violence against women for not doing however many chores a day and like wearing the hijab or what have you. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm yeah,
Yeah,
that was crazy.
yeah, it was super crazy. And like I said, I just always find it to be weird is that the women that totally believe that women are supposed to be in servitude or they're supposed to be underneath men because men are inherently superior. So they will cower to men, in so many avenues. I find that oftentimes they will turn that anger at that lot in their life and turn that to women, and they'll be extremely aggressive to women. That's what I find to be the weirdest, that when it's men around, I'm sure you like, yes, yes, king, yes, king, yes, king, yes, king, yes, king, yes, king. But then when you get around a fellow woman, now you want to get crazy. Like, what? Like, that's what was blowing me. It's like, if you don't do that to Muhammad at the crib, when he be knocking your head between the washer and dryer and telling you to get in there and wash some dishes and shut up, then you definitely not finna be doing it to me. That's what I don't understand. Like, you're not going to be doing it to me. That's it. Like, because if you can't do it to your man, you definitely not finna be doing it to me. And this, like I said, I don't even want to try to like I said, I don't want to talk about nobody's belief systems, even if I disagree, because I say this all the time. It's plenty of things that I disagree with, but it doesn't give me the right to try to like put it down and bash it, because that wouldn't be right, because I wouldn't want anyone to do that to me. But so I'm just going to keep all of my thoughts about what I think about her belief system to the side, because at the end of the day, we all have different opinions. But like I said, if I know you don't get bucked with the men over there in the mosque, you definitely not finna be getting bucked with me. And it's really just that simple. Like, you need to save that energy to the men that think that you're less than because you have a coochie. Okay. But anyway, let me keep going. And I hate the word coochie. I don't even know why I said that, y'all. Let me go down here to I think it's LaBelle and then Chilotam. And then I'll keep going. Go ahead, Miss LaBelle.
Hi, thank you so much for bringing me up. I appreciate it. I saw my mutual Gabrielle here. Hi, Gabrielle. And so I just decided to listen for a while. Essentially, I just kind of wanted to touch on a few things. The first is I think to Hunt or something like that. Sorry, I can't see the full name, but I'm so glad she came back and sounded the alarm about how dangerous that woman's rhetoric was. We definitely know that a lot of things are rooted in racism and white supremacy, but we have to weigh the benefits versus not having the benefits. And that will always outweigh the fact that it had the roots within that. Okay. Like, I just feel like the fact that we can even talk with each other right now and have conversations and have jobs and go on vacation alone without a man and doing all sorts of things like that are regular everyday things is because we have feminism. And I'm so glad to brought that up, because you know, especially if there are young Black girls that are impressionable in age, listening, that they don't make terrible decisions with the awful advice that she was spewing here. And this is why it's so important to truly, you know, be that type of woman that will be able to reach our young people and realize that no, you don't have to go down this path because you will lose your life. That's the ultimate price when it comes to the life that she's talking about, especially in the quote unquote pro Black space. But I don't want to deviate too much. I just wanted to say thank you too for coming up and sounding that alarm. The second thing I also wanted to add, specifically back to the topic, because the topic is Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug. Two things. Because I don't understand how Mariah looks at herself in the mirror and then she goes and she kisses that man. I don't see how it correlates. I don't get it. Secondly, I also think that's what happens when you are pretty, but you have a low self-esteem and you are not sure of yourself, because like that's actually crazy that she's let him disrespect her on multiple levels. I'm not sure if she didn't get validation where she was born. I don't know what her parents' situation is, because sometimes that can occur. But I personally think that this is a great example to show Black women what not to do. And I land.
All right, all right. I appreciate you, LaBelle. Yeah, the lady, I was about to respond to my Oracle, but I see that Oracle is probably on the same type of time the other lady that was here is on. I've never spoken to my Oracle before either. So my Oracle, I'm going to take the time to go ahead and block you as well. I saw Coach T block the other lady that was up here, Shahida. So I'm gonna take the time to block you, my Oracle, as well. Hold on, let me screenshot you so I can block you from my other page as well. My page that I use. I had to go and screenshot it, but yeah, I'm about to block you too. Goodbye. Yeah, so like I said, this is very strange to me. I had no idea that this would be that. And honestly, this is crazy to me because I really do believe like this is the reason why it's so difficult to get Black women to be respected, because there are so many Black women willing to be disrespected just so that they can have the presence and company of a man. That is weird and strange. If you cannot have a marriage, if you cannot be married to a man without shrinking yourself, without being subservient to him, without him thinking that he's superior, or without you placating him and telling him that he's superior, I have no idea why you would want that. I have no idea. I've been married and divorced, and now I've been married again for 16 years. It will be like in a couple weeks now. I have no idea. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. If I had to take a marriage, or I had to take being seen as less than or subservient, or, you know, I'm just, this man is just going to be above me telling me what to do and he gets the final say on how I live my life or what I do, I alone. And I think a lot of Black women have got to get, I alone. And I think a lot of Black women have got to get better with their own company and get some freaking standards. That's the reason why Black women are getting played in okie dokes every business day. My God, this is ridiculous. Every business day. My God, this is ridiculous. This last month, from seeing the true nature of women, that they really sacrifice their even their soul just to have a presence of a low life bum around that you're going 50-50 with is ridiculous. Like, I don't even know what to say. This is like, I'm so flabbergasted that there are so many Black women that are completely delusional. I'm actually terrified, man. All I know is that I have two daughters. The only thing I can do is raise my daughters, which I have, to not be like that. But I don't believe that this pick me epidemic is going to stop anytime, because there are so many Black women actively, even with all of this information that we have in our fingertips as a phone, You know, oh, you have $1,000 plus piece of machinery in your hand that can educate you on anything. Anyway, let me just keep going. Go ahead, Chillo Tam. I'll start your timer for you. Go ahead, Chillo Tam. And hey, how you doing, sis?
Hi Trey, good morning. I'm doing good, thank you. Hope you're good too. Hi everyone on the panel. I'm sorry to kind of drag us back. I was just really, no pun intended, I was just really triggered by what just happened because I originally come from a country where I have seen directly, okay, and this is not hearsay, this is what I've seen even from childhood, what Islam does to women, to girls. I think when we even say women, we kind of downplay the severity of the topic, and I can understand, not criticizing other people's religion, but I have to speak on this because where I come from, we have 9-year-olds, okay, 9-year-olds who are quote unquote married off, impregnated, probably die in childbirth. Like I've seen so many disturbing things that I don't even want to say them here because they trigger me so much. And so when I see people defending some aspects of that religion, it just really puts me off because I don't know if you guys know this, and I'm not triggered. I don't mean to make this a Christianity versus Islam thing because I'm personally, I'm very, and I'm going to call out my bias, I'm very, very biased when it comes to Islam. Nigeria, the country I come from, accounts for about 90% of Christian quote unquote persecution, right? And the only reason for that is because the people killing Christians in Nigeria are Muslims. So when I say I have a very strong I don't know if to use the word dislike, but I just have a very strong feeling towards them that I can't even express in words because I have seen so many ugly things. My sister has almost been a victim of it as well. So I hate the whitewashing that comes with it. And I'm of the opinion that, like, you can subscribe to any ideology or religion or whatever, but it would be very dishonest to not call out the harm that people experience from it. And even as a Christian myself, although I'm kind of struggling, like battling with unbelief and that's so many other things I'm not going to talk about, but I can still recognize the aspects of the religion that were not fair to women. And I think that that's what that's what would make anybody a well-rounded human being, for you to actually call out things for what they are and not try to sugarcoat the whole thing. But yeah, I wanted to say that. Secondly, with the topic, Maria, the scientist, and Young Thug, I just feel that this situation is really, really pathetic because first of all, it just befuddles me that, because people on Twitter were saying, oh, why would you gossip with a man about another woman? And I'm just like, why would I even be talking to someone in jail? Absolutely, no, ill. Like it's just like, where are your standards? Why you're in jail? I don't know you. I'm abandoning you completely because you're not going to spoil my reputation. I'm Nigerian. We are very obsessed with our reputation and how the world sees us, especially if you come from strict parents. They don't want you to embarrass them. So it's just like, where is the shame? I have no issues with women wanting companionship and wanting love and all that stuff, but I just feel like it shouldn't be at the expense of yourself, at the expense of your safety, at the expense of your reputation, at the expense of you. Like, you should always put yourself first. And I think that's what a lot of women don't know. I have seen firsthand how men put themselves first. Like, I kid you not, I remember when I was trying to travel, I was telling my ex-boyfriend that, hey, okay, let's try to go to the same, because we're in Nigeria back then. I was like, let's try to go to the same country so that way we don't have to deal with distance and everything. And that was ultimately why we broke up, because of the distance. The time difference was just too much. And he wouldn't budge. He put himself first. Okay, I was there doing, oh, babe, let's go to the same place so that, we can be together. He didn't even bat an eye, and he's a good person. Okay, I'm not here to like trash him or anything, but that's just like a minor example of how men will put themselves first. And even in jail, I think I heard another call leak that young Thug was saying he was sleeping with other women And it's just like, how do you get back with that? It's just like, where excuse me, where's your self-esteem? I think I see my timer is running out, so I might just circle back. But I think a lot of these things can just be tied to women not having or not thinking highly of themselves, or not thinking that we deserve so much more than we endure, or so much more than we have been conditioned to think that we deserve. And I say this so passionately because I had to really reprogram my brain into telling myself that, okay, yeah, I deserve more. And that ultimately seems to be the problem here. So yeah, I'll just circle back. Thank you.
No problem, no problem. And I just wanted to say really quickly, I also wish that people would be honest when they talk about their experiences or the experiences of other women in religious organizations. I could be the first person to say that there are a lot of men that use Christianity to take advantage of women and children, to grape them, to abuse them, to mistreat them, to line their pockets. That's just a fact, right? And for some reason, when people address Islam, it's like this thing where people try to pretend like they don't, like there's nothing that applies the same in that faith as well. When I was talking to the other girl that I ended up blocking too, that was up here, Oracle, 93% of Arabs are Muslim. And I think that we all know what happens in the Arab community as far as their treatment of women. Even, just one Arab country, Afghanistan, where the women can have to be covered from head to toe, and they actually have to cover one eyeball as well. They can only have one eye out because the men have now said these oppressive laws that they said a woman only needs one eye to see. And they cannot speak out loud in public. They can only speak inside their homes. They cannot sing. It's a whole bunch of other things to do. And even in Turkey, where there also are a lot of, that's considered a non-Arab country, where there are also a lot of Muslims as well. Almost 50% of Turkish women there suffer domestic violence at some point in their life. Their domestic violence rates exceed rates in Europe and the United States. So I really wish that y'all would stop these games and not act like the idea that women are less than and that men are superior to women, that women are supposed to walk around completely covered with their only their eyeballs exposed, while men get to walk around freely and do whatever they want to do. If y'all don't stop acting like that is not rooted in patriarchal oppression and abuse of women, and stop acting like it's something other than what it is, it's insane to me. Now, when the other lady was talking about the 72 virgins thing, I take my time to be, and I've said this plenty of times, I take my time to be educated on everything, even things that I don't agree with. Just that way I know that I'm educated. That way I know where I'm coming from, or the perspective of whatever anybody that's speaking. The 72 virgin things, like people, men, unalive and going to heaven, and 72 virgins, that is a contested ideology. There are a lot of Muslims that believe that, but then there are some Muslims that don't believe that. Now, if you notice, a lady that was there that was talking, she said that they believe that it's for martyrs. What I was trying to say is, regardless of whoever you believe that to be from, you don't think that's a little bit of a sexist thing? Where are the 72 virgin men for me? When do I die and I go to heaven and I get 72 Keith Powers that never got any type of poison, and I get to have all of these Keith Powers, or Trevante Rhodes, or Denzel Washington's when he was in his prime around, or Morris Chestnuts, or whatever your flavor is. Where are those for me as a woman? All I'm saying is that's crazy. But you want to, let me not even do that. It's not my place to say something is crazy. I got to check myself. It's not my place. Everybody has their own belief systems. People can say the things that I think is crazy. So let me not do that. That's not right. So let me take that back, rewind. I'm sorry, you guys. I apologize for that. I take that back. I'm not the judge of if it's crazy or not. All I was trying to say is that these things are actual true things that are belief systems, that these abuse rates, these domestic violence rates are real. You know what I'm saying? And they do have a connection to Islam, whether people want to admit it or not. And that's the only thing that I was trying to say. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing I was trying to say. So I just take offense at, with women that take a faith where more than likely they may possibly be getting dominated and disrespected by their men, and they have no voice and they are very silent and are fine with that. But when you get around me, you want to get crazy. I think that's something that I'm not going to tolerate. That's all I have to say. But anyway, let me keep going. I'm gonna go down here to supervillain and then Maya.
Yeah, that was interesting, and it's always kind of fun when the topic takes a turn. I just wanted to mention because, as well as a disruptor, I'm also an educator. When it came to the feminism part, and I love what LaBelle said. Even though some things are rooted in white supremacy, what are the good versus bad? But I do want to say a lot of people don't understand that maybe the word feminism is rooted in that, but the actual practice, some of the first practices in the United States specifically, were by black women. And guess what it was? To stop lynching, because I can't say the word to protect a lie. Inchings. Those were some of the first practices of feminism. She wants to be so big and bad and be about black community. Did you know that? Did you know that was one of the first things that feminism in the United States did? Fight those things that affected also black men? Also, the practice of feminism did not start in the United States. Patriarchy and misogyny did not start in the United States. And when we keep referring to feminism being a white tea woman practice, it totally erases the trauma, the things that our ancestors went through before white tea people even knew they were white. Again, practices like FGM. That is a misogynistic practice to prepare young girls for marriage. That's not necessary. That's totally misogynistic. And other places like China, where they do the foot binding so they can be attractive for marriage. Again, that is something that is traumatic and torturous to those women. And that happened and started before white people knew they were white. You know what I'm saying? In India, the ring, when they ring the neck to make women more attractive, that is rooted in misogyny. And those are practices that happened before white people knew they were white. White supremacy is a hell of a drug, right? But plenty of things, especially misogyny, happened before white people knew they were white. We have to stop letting that be the chokehold. It grinds my gears into Oracle, which is weird because Oracle is pretty cool. So that was a little, I don't know what happened over there. She made a thing. She made a statement in the comments real quick and said that in Islam women don't have to cook and clean. Okay, that may be the case, but what's the result of that? Do you know Islamic countries have some of the highest trafficking rates? That's because who do you think is doing the cooking and cleaning? When you see the little girl in the kitchen, that's not the daughter. That's not the family friend. That's a little girl that was trafficked and sold to do the housework that you just said Islam doesn't make the women to do. So like we gotta be so freaking for real. And to say that it's one of the most freeing, I don't want to get into it because I personally have a disdain against that. So I'm gonna chill. But I'm gonna say they do things like honor unaliving. That's literally in. I got a alarm. They do things like honor aliving. That's literally in the religion. So again, we gotta understand and really read and do research. And I understand how these things can have us women in a chokehold. And this is why feminism allows us to educate ourselves and reach out to other women. I'm not going to go into the religious thing, but we really, really got to tread lightly sometimes because she's doing Islam the way that it's good for her. But if she was in Afghanistan, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't like what she would be going through. I'm going to yield there. I didn't even get to the topic. I'm going to yield, Trey. Sorry.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Let me go down here to Maya. Oh,
Okay, can you hear me?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. Just to kind of tie it all back to the prompt, like women like Marie, women like Shahida, and Mariah and the scientists are all kind of the same to me. I feel like you have to kind of see yourself as an extension of men opposed to just an individual person to kind of justify being cheated on, justify the patriarchy within your religion or just within your culture in general. And I think that really enables not only women to get treated terribly in these situations, but to also continue to justify and make excuses for their husbands and boyfriends, and even men that aren't their husbands and boyfriends, because women will go put up with a lot for less. And I just think that the only counter to it is like you can't tell women that are pick me's to stop being pick me's because they don't value what you have to think as a woman. I think at this point it's just one of those things where they got to touch the stove and get burned and kind of be kind of brought into the fold that way to say, see what happens when you don't do any self-preservation, when you don't put yourself first, when you don't take kind of the violence and the aggression that men have towards women seriously. And that's really all I had to say. Like that was very crazy.
All right, all right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Maya. Let me go up here to Bree, then LaBelle, and then Gabrielle.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to give a couple comments on Mariah the Scientist as somebody that's a fan of her. And Thug actually because I live and I'm from Atlanta. So Mariah and Thug was like the Atlanta it couple. And I was actually at Thug's show before he got arrested. And I just really love Mariah the Scientist. So to the point, it's really unfortunate and it's really sad to see the route her career is taking. But as much as I love her and him, I kind of knew that she was a pick me once she got with him and was on the phone with him his entire bid and ruined, yes, Atlanta it couple, like I said. Um and so it was just really hard to see that. And I don't think anybody saw these turn of events coming, but we knew something was coming because of Mariah's loyalty to him. She's beautiful, she's smart, her career is still fairly new. Like if you're from Atlanta, then we're like already heavy on Mariah the Scientist. But a lot of people did not know her. So to see her like completely just put her own career on the shelf for Thug, it was really sad. And I'm hoping that she'll kind of get some self-respect and jump off this train that's crashing before it's too late. They're saying that they broke up. I don't know for sure. Nobody has confirmed it. But I'm just hoping that she gets some type of self-respect because it's clear that she is a pick-me. I'm guessing her music kind of said that, but I don't know how I missed that because, like I said, I really love her music. But she is, and when I really sit back and listen to her music, she talks about how a man is everything to her, and without a man, she just gonna die. That's what most of her music says. So now it makes sense. But I'm just hoping that she leaves. And then why do men betray women and think it's accepting a man never choose back will never work out? I don't know. I wanted to address some other topics on here, but I can't really read the whole thing.
Let me see if I can change the format for you. That way you can see it. Yeah,
Okay, because I
let me
would love
know
to
if you
address
can see it.
these.
Can you? No, that's probably too small. Hold on. Hold on, let me see. Maybe the panel way it will let you see it. Can you see? Is that better for you?
I think so, yes. Okay, so it says accepting a man that cheats will never work out. I do believe that. And as a woman who's now grown, I am also a daughter of a pygmy. And it's a lot. My mom, she's in a relationship with somebody that's cheated on her and she refuses to leave, even though she makes all of the money. And the heartbreak that her daughters are experiencing now that we see our mother for who she is, a wounded, broken woman, it's doing a lot of damage to us. But one thing I am happy about is that ever since all of this stuff happened with Thug and everybody seeing Mariah's career like fail right before our eyes, I think it's bringing up a lot of well needed conversation. I think that women are starting to see younger women who didn't want to believe what being a pick me is. Now we have something that they can easily relate to. And I think that even though this is unfortunate for Atlanta, for Thug, for Black music, for Mariah, for the girlies, it's like we can get some big lessons out of this. And I feel like we're starting to have conversations that need to be had. And I think that a lot of women feel like in order to especially for the younger Atlanta culture, because Mariah is very young. She's straight out of high school. Thug is like my age. I'm in my like mid 30s, early 30s, 32. Mariah is a baby. So I think that because she's so young, a lot of younger women are starting to see now for themselves, because now they have a direct example. It's not like older, bitter women are talking now. At first, an older woman will try to put a young girl on game and she don't want to hear nothing we got to say. But now that Mariah, a young pretty girl who's very popular in Atlanta, she's going through this, and now younger women have an example of what to do when you want to show a man that you're down so bad, even at your own detriment. And I'm really hoping that she can come out of this, but I honestly don't know where she stands. What else? Rick Ross and Lyra Galore. Example of men do not give. I don't feel like men give any women any grace, which is why women should not be giving men any grace. And I do feel like Mariah gave him entirely too much. I do feel like you should never accept a man that cheats on you. And I'm guessing women feel better with being with men that cheat on them if they use this quote cheat back. But to be honest, I don't even feel like that works. I feel like women who cheat back are still somewhat pick-me's, because you rather devalue yourself because of a man's actions versus just loving yourself enough to just leave altogether. Because even if you cheat back and stay with him, this man still has access to you. And now your whole house is turned upside down because you're mirroring the actions of a man that don't care about you or him. And I'll land there.
All right, Bree. Okay, I appreciate you. I did want to say just one thing though. Just like somebody said in the comments, who was that? Coco. Yeah, Mariah the Scientist, I just want to say she's not straight out of high school. This young woman is 27. I don't like to call people like they're 25, 26, 27, 30, because who wants people to just keep rushing their age up? But I will say that she is knocking close on the door. 3 years to be here before you know it. So, yeah, she's 27. So she's well old enough to know better. And this isn't her first relationship. Like, she's also been with another notable F-boy, Lil Yachty. So it's not like she don't know the game. Like, so I can't give her any grace for her age. Like, she's old enough to know better. And I just heard like laughing with him about Glorilla is already just deeply concerning, because I just feel like at 27 you should know that a man that is willing to kiki with you and another woman, first of all, he's a lame, but even beyond that, he's probably doing it for a reason, and the reason is not what you think, that he doesn't like that woman. Like, I don't know any man that would bring up a woman unprovoked that he doesn't like. Like, that doesn't make any type of sense. Because if you thought she was ugly or you thought she was this or that, what would be the purpose? Because I know me, I would never bring up somebody that I don't like. For what? What are we having a conversation about them before, unless they did something to me, you know? But yeah, the thing that I just want Black women to take out of this whole live today is simply this, is that you have got to stop giving men a grace that they will never extend to you. Never. If you make your whole life about a man, you will regret it. And it's really just that simple. And it's sad to see a woman like Mariah the Scientist, pretty, still young, has a lot of life left to live, and she's wasting her prime years on Negroes that do not value her and think that she's a dumb goofy. And I have no idea. And I also think that Black women have got to unpack this desire that they have for ugly men, and also bottom of the barrel disrespectful men. Like, and also men that put forth this fake bravado of like thugness and aggression and all of that, because all it does is have these women crying in the shower. Like, I have no idea what your mental state has to be that you can be an attractive Black woman, dare I say the beauty standard, because we know the prize that the Black community puts on light-skinned women or women of a fair complexion. And I don't have any problems with light-skinned women. Both of my children are light-skinned. I am dark-skinned though. So I don't have any issues with light skinned women, but I'm just saying that you have all of this privilege. Also, yes, no children, and you choose to offer your pussy up to low life, low level, dusty, dirty bums that was walking around here with dresses on and women's blouses on. What are you doing with yourself? And I think that the decision making that a lot of black women have is completely poor. And even just like Bree said that like they were Atlanta's it couple. I lived in Atlanta before. And I don't anymore, but I did used to live there. I don't like Atlanta, but you know, once again, that was not my birthplace, so it could be that, but it wasn't my vibe. Too freaked out for me. But I just say that I think that that's also something that needs to be unpacked. That Young Thug would ever be considered, whoever he would be paired up with, to be an it couple. Like, really? That's what we think is an it couple? Some dusty man that look like he don't even wash behind his ears, like, or wash his back. He don't have like a net or a loofah, nothing to even clean his back off. Like, I can't even fathom. Like, you know what I'm saying? Thinking that that man is any type of it factor or a couple goals or anything like that. He's absolutely repulsive. But anyway, like I said, I want black women to want better for themselves. And I think that this should show that there is a definite problem with the psyche of black women, because if this type of programming occurs in the black women that will be so-called considered, you know, I guess I don't really like to judge people on their looks, because looks is something that you can't control. But for intents and purposes of this conversation, I will make it a look-based conversation, because that's what men tend to be focused on. When you have women that are wanted by a lot of men, they are viewed as valuable. And these black women also have low self-esteem and make bad decisions. What do you think that is indicative of the black women that don't have all of this validation, aren't being poured into? That should tell you that there's a brainwashing going on. When you have somebody like Megan Good make the choice of being with a black man that has been disgraced, that has been convicted of harming a white woman, that he never was interested in black women before then, until he needed somebody to rehab him, till he needed a black woman rehab center. When you have somebody like Mariah the scientist, you know, that is attractive, that has the beauty standard, the look that could be with any type of men, she's choosing to be with low life bums. It happens all the time in the black community. And I think that we've got to address that and start building self-esteem within each other, to where we don't feel like these are the men that we have to settle for. Even Halle Berry, a biracial woman who was beat in the ear by Wesley Snipes to where she lost her hearing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mention her all the time. There are so many instances of black women settling for less. And this is what happens when you settle for less. You end up looking like a goofy, because Mariah the scientist looks like the biggest dummy in the entire history of pop culture right now. Like, I don't even think I could even listen to her music without cracking a smile, because it's just that stupid. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, let me keep going. I don't think LaBelle got a chance to speak, and then I'll start back from the bottom up to the top. LaBelle, did you speak yet, sis?
But can I go again? Unless someone else didn't go yet, I'll wait.
No, you can go ahead, and then I'll just start from the bottom to the top. Go ahead, LaBelle.
Thank you. Oh my God, you woke it up. You woke it up. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the obsession. I personally think that a lot of it has to do with trauma bonding. And I just want to preface, no matter what corner of the world you go, and no matter where you travel, the pathology at the base of everything for these YNs is the same. The accent is just different. The language might be different, but the pathology is the same, which is essentially they view a lot of Black women to be doing their dirty work. They're there with Black women to be used. I'm pretty sure the reason why Young Thug and the whole Mariah thing is even happening is because, he's a jump scare that got money, okay? Men understand a few things, right? Like, That's why I always hated when women talked about being with medium ugly men. You know, to men, you're either ugly or you're not. The end. There's no medium. There's no, oh, she a little bit. There's nothing. It's either you are ugly or you are not, since we're going to talk about looks and stuff, right? And so I just feel like all of these permissive things that women do, oh, you know, I like my man medium ugly, da, 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 da. That same one will be coming and cheating on you. That same one will be coming and not giving a damn what you do for him. And I think that Young Thug understands that his money is giving him access to women like Mariah. But I just don't understand what Mariah is seeing, because she's getting her own money. She's getting her own fame. So it's also another thing too that I never understood. I wish a lot of Black women were as disciplined and strict about men as they are about going back to school and getting another degree, because we are champions at that. Why can't you be a champion at picking a better man? Like that lawyer chick that got knocked up with the guy that was in her RICO case. Are y'all okay? Like, I'm so confused, because we will shout to the rooftops all day, most educated in the Americas, but this is what you are accepting from males, and Black males at that, unfortunately. That's crazy. Like, that's actually crazy. Like, and then when we like, you know, it's just like when we also tell them, you know, maybe dial back on giving out the cookie. You know, maybe dial back on opening sesame all the time. You could have swear you asked them that they finna go jump off a bridge right now, because God forbid you don't get no brown pipe. God forbid you can't live with that. Like, and I think that a lot of the bad decision making is rooted in that. Like, we really need to like dissect why, you know, you're dealing with this. Like, I'm sorry, but the schmecks cannot be that good. It cannot. It cannot. There's no way. And every time you talk about this, oh yeah, girl, well, you ain't must not be cracked right. Because trust me, once you're cracked right, you know, you're gonna lose your no, ma'am, no. Like that, some of us love ourselves enough not to be put in those situations. Now, I'm not saying that you know, when you're younger, you don't know better, you're in high school, you're in college, there are a lot of factors and nuances to this conversation, but at the end of the day, we're talking about, like Triggered said, a woman who's 27 years old, about to kiss 30. My cutoff is usually 25 when I got to give a woman grace. After that, like, you got to know better. 25 is like the maximum cutoff. And the reason why is because your frontal lobe needs to develop. She's got 2 years already under her belt. And like Triggered said, this is not her first relationship. We can give grace where grace is, you know, required, but we can't afford to give grace anymore. The women's rights are being dialed back. You can't afford to be stupid. You can't afford to be getting knocked up. You can't afford all of that. Like, men are getting more violent. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're getting more aggressive. Incel culture is getting worse and worse. Red pill culture is getting worse and worse. So you have to be able to love yourself more than anyone else. And you have to be able to essentially be able to make decisions to protect yourself at all costs. I yield.
All right, all right. I appreciate you, LaBelle. That's definitely something I bring up a lot. Abstinence, Black women abstaining, Black women not having intercourse with these men. Some women accept it and be like, yeah, that's the type of time they're on. And then some Black women give me pushback on it, and I'm always flabbergasted when they do. Because, you know, studies, I was just talking about this, like when you were talking about the whole crack thing. You're so right, because if you look up studies on women's orgasm, you know, less than 50% of Black women, or not, excuse me, not Black women, less than 50% of women reach orgasm during sexual encounters. And depending on what studies you look for, sometimes the rate is even lower than 50%. It's like 29% of women reach it. You know, so my thing is that, and it's even lower when you are having casual X. So my thing is that exactly what are you getting out of this? You're not even getting respectfully a nut out of the situation. So that leads me to believe it's all also male centered. Because what in the world are you giving up the cookie for when you're not even getting anything out of the deal? What he's doing is using your pussy and then kicking you to the curb. You know what I'm saying? I just like I saw a story time of a woman that said, a black woman, she said, I've known this man for 3 weeks. He was eating me from the rooter to the tutor, from the front to the back. And he invited me to some type of sports event and his girlfriend was there and he told me to be quiet and act like, that I was just a friend. I can't believe this. I'm thinking to myself, what do you mean you can't believe? You don't even know this man. You started having intercourse with a man that you've known less than 30 days and you're surprised? You're surprised that this man is playing with you? And the fact that this man would be willing to eat you from the rooter to the tutor. And I know y'all didn't go to the clinic. And he's willing to do this and he doesn't know you from a can of paint. That should let you know that he's a nasty Nate right there. You know what I'm saying? And I do feel like Black women have got to stop because, and I do understand that a lot of Black women and Black girls have been subjected to SA and a lot of unwanted, inappropriate sexual contact, which in my opinion causes hyper-sexuality. But I would like a lot of us as Black women to get some therapy to unpack that, because looking for love or satisfaction inside of a man's pants is never going to get you where you need to go. All it's going to get you is being part of the very high statistics of Black women that have HIV and herpes. And who wants that? Not to shame anybody that has it. You know what I'm saying? Because you can still live a full life. But I'm saying if you could avoid those type of outcomes, why would you? Why would you want that? And why would you want to get that by somebody that's not even worth your time? Like, I don't understand any of it. It just doesn't make any sense. But I was just saying, I definitely agree. I think abstinence is a very, very big part to play. I personally think a woman should abstain until marriage, because that's the biggest way that you're going to know what type of man that you're dealing with. But that's a whole nother topic because I know some women disagree with me. But let me go start here. I'll go to Chilotam, Gabrielle, Supervillain, Maya, then Bree, and then lastly LaBelle. Go ahead, Chilotam. But y'all guys got to stick to the time. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes. That way we can get to everybody.
Okay, thank you. Something else I wanted to even point out with Mariah the Scientist and Young Thug was the fact that he was kind of making fun of Glorilla's features, like her nose. And I know like Glorilla's features have always been a topic of discussion, but to me, it's such a huge turn off to see. And I've said this so many times, like I cannot stand colorist men. I can't stand texturist men or people in general, and featurist men as well, because how are you making fun of something that is, I don't know how to say this, like something that Black people are known for, you know? I think it's really shallow, because personally it really irks me, because I grew up in a country that's very, you know, anti-Black. We would say anti-Black, but they were very featurist like that. And I just think that somebody like that, like someone like Young Thug, who seems to be so superficial, has nothing to add to your life. And to sit there and talk about why you kicking with a man who is making fun of a woman. Like I just feel like that's all levels of low. You know, even my family members don't say certain things next to me because they're scared of what I'm going to say back to them. Like sometimes they would tease me and say, "Oh, Chilotam has come with just her feminist nonsense." You know, they say it to tease me, but in reality, they know that they can't say stuff around me. So it's just like you allow a man to disrespect another woman in front of you. What makes you think he's not going to disrespect you back? You know, I yield.
All right. Let me go up here to Gabrielle.
Thank you. I actually want to piggyback off what LaBelle was saying, so I think she made some like phenomenal points. I do agree with her that like after you get, past 25, for context, I'm 27, so like after you get past 25, your prefrontal cortex is fully developed, and you do really just have more understanding and more awareness of certain things just because your brain is, more developed. And honestly, just like listening to everyone talk about Mariah the scientist and like I don't remember the guy she was seeing, was it Young Thug or something? And then I guess he was making fun of another woman's features, the fact that she was entertaining that. Like at some point, I really do think, and obviously there are going to be some exceptions, but in most cases, like the person that you are like dating and entertaining and being in a serious relationship with, that is in some ways like a reflection of you. Like there is a reason why with that person you connected with them and are okay with constantly spending time with them and sharing energy with them, like and there are even studies that show that most people do gravitate towards, like in romantic relationships, like dating, marriage, or whatever, towards people who are like similar to them on some level. So I mean, um I definitely agree with you, Triggered, about like, the need for like a lot of like unpacking to be done to like avoid these issues like that we're seeing with like Mariah the scientist. But at some point it's like, and I don't want to come off as victim blaming, but it's like these like this caliber of men is being chosen by women who choose to entertain these men. So it's like, in my opinion, it's like maybe that is their level, like respectfully. Like I'm not even trying to be funny when I say that, but maybe that really is where they are in their life and that is where they want to be. And like I at this point I don't know what can be done about it. But I do think like post 25 and onward, like the people you date, they do reflect you in one way or another. But I'll land there for now.
Okay, all right. I got you, Gabrielle, and I do understand what you're saying. Let me go up here to supervillain, then Bree, then Maya, and then LaBelle. Go ahead, supervillain.
Yes, well, to end, I just want to say again, Trig, thank you for creating this space where Black women can be, no judgment. Unless you're a pick me, we won't tolerate that rhetoric because it's dangerous. I do want to say, I want to piggyback off Chilo. I love what you said about how your family members know, even though they kid with you, they know what to say around you because you created a boundary. And this is what part of the prompt was about: creating a boundary, having standards. It's like sometimes, I don't know if y'all notice when men come in the room and they hear us talking and they come up and they're like, oh, I'm scared to talk. Or can I? Yes, because they know through our rhetoric, we are creating boundaries. They know that they hear Trig tear somebody up and we don't tolerate the nonsense over here. It is a very good thing to create boundaries, and I love that they get it when they come in here that they are scared. I'm gonna end by saying this. This was such a great topic. I wanted to get to number 6, but I guess I'm gonna just go research that a little bit later. I just like to hear when Drake tells the stories. It feels like you're our own personal Wendy Williams sometimes, Drake, when you tell these pop culture stories. So I'm gonna go look it up. I just want to say, to all the Black women out there, just please do the work. Talk to the little Black girl inside you today. Validate her feelings. Do something fun for her. And if you feel that little tinkle in your heart, that is definitely me reaching out, giving you a hug because I love Black women. And for that, I just hope everybody enjoys the rest of your day. Can we tap up to 20K, please? Let's get Trig to the likes that she more than deserves. All right. Y'all have a great day.
All right, supervillain. Oh, and what the topic of like number 6 was I was just talking about how like black men don't give black women grace because back in the day when Rick Ross used to date this like IG baddie Lyra Galore, she was a dancer and he asked her to marry him and everything, but then once there was pictures that came out that she was dancing for like Meek Mill and that she possibly had like some dealings with some other men, and the men were telling Rick Ross that she was for the streets and he was looking like a punk and everything, he dropped that lady. He broke up with her. And she even went on to interviews to say like she was flabbergasted and stuff that he had, dumped her or whatever because, he said that they were going to get married and all of this other stuff. But he cared about his image, more than he cared about the relationship with her. He didn't give her no grace and say, oh, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? You have everybody has a past, or this, that, and the third, or I myself have been with a whole lot of women, so how can I judge you or whatever? No, he just kicked that lady to the curb. So I think that that's just a perfect example of what men do. They do not give women the grace that women give them. And that's the reason why I feel like women should be so hard on men, because men do they're never gonna do what you're doing for them. If y'all think that Mariah the scientist could be locked up in prison and Young Thug is gonna be visiting her every day and calling her mommy and being faithful and this and that and the third, it's not gonna happen. He would never do it. He would never do it. So he couldn't even stay faithful in prison. So it's just like, why in the world are women doing these things? But you guys, I'm gonna end this live, y'all. But I'm gonna let the last two ladies speak. Maya and then LaBelle. Like, did you have anything to say, Maya?
Okay, I did. Just to kind of walk back to the question about like why successful women like Mariah the Scientist, beautiful successful women at that, like Mariah the Scientist, get with like bums like Young Thug. Like I think it's kind of a reaction to the traditional roles of like men and women changing, like the same way that men kind of react out of anger because they can no longer just like work a job and be a breadwinner and be able to have dominion over their kids and their wives and their girlfriends or whatever. I think the equal reaction to that is like women kind of not having to constantly take care of a husband and a family. And so that in return, they'll be successful, to get all the accolades, but they don't know how to put down taking care of a bum or uplifting a man that sucks. But that's really all I wanted to say. I appreciate you having me up and letting me speak. And I hope everybody has a great day.
All right, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Maya. Okay, so I'm gonna drop the ladies that just spoke. And then I'm going to. There's like three ladies in the queue. I'll let you guys speak also for 2 minutes if y'all really wanted to, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. But I hate to see you guys in the box, and then y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't get a chance to speak. So I'm gonna drop the rest of you guys. I appreciate all of you lovely ladies that came up today and gave y'all thoughts and y'all perspectives. I really do appreciate y'all. I'll give the rest of you guys your 2 minutes. Or I was it three? I can't even remember. But the last person I think before I get to the new ladies is LaBelle. Go ahead, LaBelle.
Triggered. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to say I really hope that you're doing these types of lives, and I really hope that it reaches the young demographic that it needs to reach. I personally don't have children. I don't think I probably will have children just with the way things are going. But I have nieces that I literally adore, and I am scared for my nieces. And those are my brother's kids and everything. But they're like one is turning 12, the other one's turning 9. Like it's so scary that this is the type of world that they are existing in. But I think that you know basically arming them with the tools is what is going to make the difference. And also giving self-esteem when you're very young is the difference. I always use myself as an example. I don't necessarily think I'm ugly, but I am a heavy set woman. Necessarily think I'm ugly, but I am a heavy set woman. I'm plus. I've been like that basically my whole life. I was always the tallest in the class. I was always the biggest in the class up until I reached like high school. But I never thought anything was wrong with me because I was around people that spoke into me. I was around people that loved me. I was around people that encouraged me, especially my father, right? I know not everyone has one or, has a good relationship with one, but I did. And I think that made the biggest difference when I started dealing with men, because even if the man thought I was ugly, even if he thought I wasn't nothing, even if it didn't hit, it's like a shield. It's like a self-esteem and self-love is kryptonite when dealing with men, because you can only be manipulated and led by your nose with men, because you can only be manipulated and led by your nose so long as you are looking for validation. I already got the validation I needed, and it was from the person that brought her. And that's the only validation I ever cared about. Have I liked men? Yes. Have I dated men? Yes. Have I been in a relationship? Yes. I was also engaged once at one point, but it never changed because I always centered back to myself. I really, in my hope is that more Black women always center back to themselves. It doesn't matter if you've married, if you're not married, if you're dating, if you're not dating. Coming back and centering back to yourself is always going to get your head right, because the most important relationship you'll ever have in this world is with yourself. And I'll end there.
All right, all right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, LaBelle. I just wanted to say I'm a fellow tall girly. I'm 5'11". So yeah, fellow tall lady. All right. Tall girls unite. All right, so let me go up here. I let the rest of you ladies speak. I'll give y'all 3 minutes and then I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. So please try to stick to y'all time. Please. Sorry, I gotta get out of here.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank
Hey.
you for allowing me up. I'm late to the party, but I'm gonna view it on YouTube. So, why do men betray women and think it's nothing but hold loyalty for men? What's the other word? Blank standard.
Yeah, it's probably just but whole loyalty for the men of the same standard, I think. I think that's what I said. Something like that.
Okay. Because they don't care about us. They don't view us as an equal. They don't feel like they have to owe us any type of explanation as all of you have stated, that I've heard so far, like literally. And we need to understand that as people, that they don't have no loyalty towards us. The good ones will, but we ain't talking about the good ones. We talking about the dusty ones. The dusty man childs, they won't have loyalty to us. Accepting a man that cheats never works out. It never works out. And for people to accept it, I think it's those women that they will say, hey, as long as they do it in private and they're not doing it out in public, it's still cheating. So why would you accept that? Why would you accept the bare minimum when you can get a man that will love you for you? Don't tolerate that. As far as the other ones, women's emotion, no, men's circle is too filled. Yes. Whoever you have in your circle should be a reflection of who you are as an individual. If you have people in your circle that are weak, that is exactly what you're going to be associated with or as weak. Women's emotions, minimal. I'll see. What's the last word on that? Women's emotions, minimize.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody cares about women's emotions.
They don't care about our emotions. They don't. They already view us as animals. They don't care at all. So, like writing those long paragraphs to these guys, they don't care. Go find you another one. Get you a good man. Women need to have more blank and self-respect. We do need to have more self-respect. Some of the ones that they're speaking to, a lot of us already have it. As far as the number 6, he dropped her like a hot tamale, and that was messed up. But that shows they don't care. They will believe whatever they want to believe about you. They will. The ones that are asking that body count stuff, that's really a reflection of how they are as a person, very childlike. And so to end it, I will say that, like the young lady said, but beneath me, it really starts at home with the socialization, how you are socialized as a female, as a person. My grandmother poured into me as a younger child. So like, as a person, my grandmother poured into me as a younger child. So like as a young child. So like whatever people said about me, yeah, it would hurt. But however, I was built up so high to where it just bounced off. And the people that said stuff about me, it don't matter because where are they at right now? No, I mean, I'm just being real. Like, ask yourself that. The people that talked about you, where are they at right now? It didn't matter what they said about you because you're doing great things.
All right. All right, all right. I got you. I got you. I appreciate you,
Yep.
D. All
You're
right.
welcome.
Miss Wakanda
Sorry,
wants to go.
triggered.
Oh,
You can drop me. Just wanted to say that.
oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much, LaBelle, for coming. I appreciate you, sis. All right. The Miss Wakanda, she wants to go last, so I'm gonna go up here to Miss Carmel. Go ahead, Carmel.
Hey, Triggered.
Hey.
Hey, girl. Yeah, I was on here for a little while. So I got to hear some, I don't know if maybe like the second to like half part of the rest of your live, but anyway, like I said, it's just such a great time. I don't know. I caught your live the last 2 days, so today make it the Thursday, the third day in a row. It definitely has me excited. So of course I just wanted to, take the opportunity to come and give you your flowers and just tell you again just how appreciative I am for this space that you provide for us. But yeah, as far as your prompt, I was having a hard time reading it as well. But since I've like got to hear like the other ladies, um, kind of break the prompt down. I'm gonna try to follow the whole Mariah, the scientist, perfect example. So I don't know like if there was like anything recent that had happened with her and Young Thug. I think the only thing, like the last thing I heard about her was the whole court thing. Like the last thing I heard about her was the whole court thing when like he was in court and he got caught like speaking to another lady or something like that. But I don't really know. Like I listen to them like the personal, like the stuff that be coming out in the media. I don't really get a chance to follow all of that stuff. So like I'm not really sure if anything happened recently. But yeah, like as far as like the age gap and him having, children and her, being childless and all of that. I mean, I definitely feel like the red flags and just the whole situation that happened where he, came out with, I guess, like cheating on her or something like that. I definitely felt like, she's, just a pick me for staying. And I do feel like, she definitely makes a perfect example of a pick me. And then like, why do men portray women? And pretty much like they think like they can, the double standards between like the men and women. I just feel like, we live in a society where, men have male privilege and women, it's like we're looked at as, because I feel like the collective of women are, I guess, like egalitarians and humanitarians. Like we are the nurturers. We care about the community. We care about other women and children and things like that. So I feel like, society or like men look at that as a weakness, and it's been, that's just how it's been since the beginning of time. Where, like our nurturing spirits are manipulated against us. Our, just those type of things are weaponized against us. And I was literally just thinking about this earlier about like how it's just so
I'll give you
crazy,
one more minute.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to try to hurry up, but yeah, like I just, girl, all your talking points, I swear, like I can go off on a whole tangent about all the all your talking points that you have. It's always great, talking points, but yeah, I just feel like men are self-serving. And I feel like a lot of women just refuse to believe that or accept that in a way. They want to be willfully ignorant or whatever. But yeah, like men are historically violent. They are self-serving. They don't care, about the, other women and children and things like that. And, look at vulnerability as a weakness or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I definitely just everything else on a prompt, like, it's a lot that I can say, but I know my time is running out. But again, I just want to just give you flowers and just, girl, keep going, don't give up. I feel like, these type of lives and things is what's going to help, wake up more women. So.
All right. I appreciate you, Miss Carmel. It's always good to have you come in this space. I love your energy. I love the things that you say. And I'm always glad to see you. Always glad to see you. That's why I added you up, even though I was like getting ready to go, because I still wanted to say hey to you and get your perspective. So let me go down here finally to Miss Wakanda. Hey, how you doing, sis? Let me send you a request to unmute your mic. Oh shoot, I think I might have muted it again. Lord, hold on. Send your request to turn it on. It again. Lord, hold on. Send your request to turn it on. You might be able to turn it on now again, Wakanda. Dang. Hopefully I didn't mess it up. Let me see. Can I send her another? Can you unmute yourself, Wakanda? Let me see. I request to turn it on. Or can you type in the chat? Are you able to unmute yourself, Wakanda? Or do you need me to like drop you and bring you back up? I'll reset your timer too.
Here, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay,
Oh.
okay. Okay,
Auntie,
great,
I'm
great.
here. Oh. I had to just sign off from work for my management so I can cook this here suya with extra pepper in the jollof rice. So, hey, you know one thing, eh? Being a Pickme is a dangerous tactical sport. Let me repeat myself. Being a Pickme is a dangerous tactical sport. High contact sport. You need a neck brace. You need knee pads, a helmet. What's that? A cup. What's that thing they put in your mouth? The mouth guard. Everything, because you are guaranteed to be toe up from the flow up. Ain't no way. One thing I can say is, I saw a video of her with her last relationship. She was on the red carpet and she was trying to take pictures, and the guy was pulling her away from, you know, like where all the sponsors and they have the board and the press take your picture and they might interview you for like blogs pages or radio stations. And he was dragging her away from getting her promo. And I just feel like like women are ready to destroy their careers, their reputation, their credit, their friend circles, their interpersonal relationships for what? Free push-ups, free dead push-ups and no orgasm. Like is this is how we've become? Is this no now? That why do you think my name is Wakanda Life is this? Do you know why I put that name? I got my old account was blocked on Instagram because I was in the comment section going toe to toe under the shade borough because this woman literally got kicked down, 8 months pregnant by a man and his brethren who he claimed it wasn't him, allegedly, because she was having a baby and he didn't want it. So he arranged boys to literally dance azonto on her body as she lost the baby. So she was campaigning to get people done for unaliving, the M word, when it comes to fetuses in the womb over a certain age. And I said, literally, that man must have showed you signs that he did not want that baby and you still kept going. And everyone started attacking me, reporting my account. A lot of the time, we like to sit in this place of delusion. Her career is budding. Let's be very real. Young Thug, the name says it all. He's no longer young, but he's certainly a thug. He's continuing in his lifestyle. Once a man gets past the age of 28 and he's still trying to be like, yeah, I'm a gangster, that one is arrested development. The frontal lobe has frozen and is joining his brother in hell. Because what really is going to come out of this? Her career is still on the rise. She's not in the spring of her career yet. We've all been done and seen and heard. Young Thug, we're tired of him. When was the last time he had a international hit? I'll wait. But she has full-blown potential. And a lot of women do not realize that there are Draculas, vampires that can see your potential, see your future is bright, see that people like you, you have favor. When you go places, people give you things, people naturally warm to you. These are gifts. Beauty is a gift from God. And there's men that will specifically target the budding fruit of women to ensure that it doesn't go anywhere, and they will snag that fruit for themselves. Or worst case, they will poison it and the fruit will shrivel and not grow. And she is a prime example of that. I found out about Mariah, the scientist, last year, February, and I love the sound of her voice. I love what she raps about. She's very intelligent. She's eloquent with her words. She's classy with it. She's not super ratchet. She's a breath of fresh air. And this stale, raggedy, used up, sorry excuse for a so-called alleged thug that is not so young is going to literally sit there and suck up her life force energy. A lot of us, I like what the lady said earlier when she said about being affirmed from young. I did not get affirmed from young. I genuinely believed I was ugly up until I was like, from young. I genuinely believed I was ugly up until I was like in my mid-20s. I couldn't see it because I was not affirmed. And then by the time I got to my 30s, I was like, well, damn, I'm my biggest fan now. Affirmation and making sure that you build esteem in a child is so imperative. Unfortunately, some of us, our mums are pick-me's. Unfortunately, my mum was a pick-me. She was a gangster pick-me though. She had her ways. She'd be a pick-me up to a certain point and then she'll turn into the devil. But that pick-me way still embedded onto me. You have to do a lot of deconstructing and therapy and spiritual work to get rid of that, because a lot of opportunities will either pass rid of that because a lot of opportunities will either pass us by or they'll be hindered by being paired with the wrong partner. And a lot of us, when men say, oh, I bet you're single, we need to stop letting men project their biggest fear. Their biggest fear is passing away alone. Their biggest fear is being single. That's not our fight. Our fight's trying to get home on a late night without someone coming to unalive us. Our fear is ensuring we have the right pad on and we're wearing white. You know, we're not fighting the same fight. And we need to really disengage and let men have their irrational fears of gold diggers, even though they ain't got no gold. Irrational fear of being a fine boy when really you look like what is that one? You are looking like Freddy Krueger. We need to let them have their delusions and separate what their fear is, what their delusions are, to our reality and our true potential. Yeah. I'm going to end with that.
All right. I mean, I definitely think that you said nothing but facts, and I definitely agree with. I think you made a great point when you talked about men like seeing like beauty or seeing potential and plucking that for themselves, or sometimes even taking it and poisoning it so that it shrivels up and it goes to nobody. Like, that is so very true, and that has happened to so many women, that they have been poisoned before they can. I saw two young Black girls, one was 19 and one was 21, and they were talking about how they had been infected with HIV, because they by their boyfriends, but their boyfriends were older men. They weren't with these guys anymore, but they were older men or whatever. And now it's like these men in their 30s and 40s have now, and like I said, I'm not saying that you can't live a full life, having, live a full life, having, HIV or whatever the case may be, but, you getting infected with that at such a young, tender age by old washed up men, that you getting infected with that at such a young, tender age by old washed up men, that's I think that's in the vein of what Wakanda Life is talking about. And I think that, yeah, I just, like I said, I just think that's just like perfectly said. And I totally agree with everything that she had to say. Like, of course, Wakanda is very funny, and the things that she says, like, it's true, but it's also hilarious. But it doesn't take away the fact that what she's saying is, even though it's humorous, that is actually true. But I'm gonna get out of here, you guys. But I am gonna let Miss Chrissy Baby, she just put in a request, speak real quick before I get out of here. I gotta let my girl speak before I go. Go ahead, Miss Chrissy Baby, and then I'm gonna get up out of here.
Hey, I missed most of your live, but I just wanted to tell a quick example of what was just talked about, like the men are afraid of unaliving alone. My father was always a very attractive man. Him and his brothers was very elder barge. All the women used to fight over them back in the 80s and the 70s, including my mom. She was kind of picking with him or whatever. And 13 children. Never went to any our graduations, none of that. I think he raised like his last two set of kids. And now my mom passed a few years ago, so that's the first time I saw him in maybe a decade or more. And then now he's 80, and he's been texting us on the phone, on Facebook Messenger. One of the wives that he had an affair with his last wife, passed away, so he's been alone in that house. We've lived in the projects growing up, pure poverty. He has multiple foreign cars, big house, all that, and he is alone. And now I think everything he done all his life is haunting him. We don't call him back. We don't really text him back like that. And I
I think he's going to live a long time really lonely and miserable and haunted by all his past because he's very healthy, but he has no friends, he has no siblings, he has no kids to come around on Christmas. He decorates the place and send pictures of how he decorated his house, but we're like, yeah, nice or whatever, but it catches up to them. It always catches up to them, and it is kind of sad, but I'm like, nah, I get you didn't care about, like, some of us went through a lot of stuff growing up in those neighborhoods, like being poor like that. I mean, most of us are successful and doing good now, but it's like he's trying to take credit for our success now. He's all in that house by himself.
All right. Well, were you done, Miss Chrissy, baby? You there?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just saying they're the ones that's afraid of being alone, not us. All the women that are that age or younger are traveling and doing great.
All right. I definitely agree. Like, I've always said that I believe that, like, men, everything that men put on to women is actually a projection of themselves, even down to, like, how they say that, like, women are emotional and all that other type of thing and, like, irrational. The most irrational is a man. The minute a man's feeling gets hurt or anything, he's crashing out, he's losing his mind. There have been literal wars started because the man's feelings got hurt. You know what I'm saying? That even the men have a deep need and desire for women. That's the reason why they go crazy when women don't give them no time of attention. They just start losing it. Like, anything that men really put on women, at least that I've seen in my life, is actually a reflection of them. They need women the most. They're the most irrational. They're the most emotional, all of these things. I don't trust nothing that men ever say, like, honestly, because it all applies to them. But anyway, you guys, I'm so sorry. I do got to get out of here. I got some things I got to do. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you beautiful Black women that came in the live today and told me y'all thoughts and perspectives and points. I appreciate y'all so much. I would just say it's just two people that I didn't appreciate. Y'all, if y'all were here from the beginning, y'all already know the two ladies that was tripping. But I appreciate all of y'all. I love y'all. I hope that y'all have a great Tuesday. And I'll see y'all
Wait,
later.
host,
Oh, yeah.
wait. I just want to say, for those of you that have wicked fathers that are dying alone, for the low price of $49.99, yeah, I'm ready to offer my services to make them food, talk to them on FaceTime. For extra $15, I can wear a fishnet tights and red lipstick. Just advertising my services. Thank you.
Okay, all right. You heard what God the life, and she said she got the services for y'all daddies for $49.99. You know, we supposed to be supporting Black businesses. Okay, so we supposed to be supporting Black businesses, all right? So we gotta support. Because look, I could definitely be a supporter because I do not speak to my father at all, but I don't speak to my mother either. So but anyway, yeah, you guys, I just want to say I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all have a great Tuesday. I'm sending y'all nothing but love, light, healing, and positivity. And if you didn't hear anything today, if y'all didn't hear from anybody else, I want y'all to know that Black women are the blueprint. We are the bomb.com. That's why we stay in everybody's mouth. So if you heard it from anybody else, you are amazing. You are awesome. You are valuable. You are special. All right. So I just wanted to tell y'all that I love y'all and I will see y'all later. All right. I'll be back with another topic later. Bye.